David DeGuzman in the NBC4 Digital Center, getting ready for the return of the Columbus Crew and the start of the 2024 MLS season. And here to talk all things Crew with me is basically our in-house expert for the Crew and Major League Soccer, Orri Benatar. Orri, thank you so much for taking the time to chat. The Crew coming in, looking to repeat. What are the chances that they'll be able to do that?
Pretty good. It's obviously been a tall task to repeat in Major League Soccer. Only 3 teams have done it. Hasn't been done in over a decade. So LA Galaxy was the last team to do it back in the early 2010s in the David Beckham, Landon Donovan era. But based on the fact that the Crew have been able to maintain a majority of its roster, along with the fact that, you know, they have such a entertaining, fast-paced style of play, that gives them a good opportunity to repeat again. But let's face it, they're the champs. They have a target on their back. And that possession-centric, fast-paced attacking buildup, every team is going to try and counter that a little bit better than they did last year. You saw a lot of teams sit back and absorb pressure from the Crew, allowing Columbus to kind of impose their will on the game. Now that they've won a championship with that strategy, I think a lot of teams are going to try and readjust a little bit how they're going to play against this Columbus Crew team. So it's going to be a tall task, but they definitely can repeat.
Yeah, I think the big thing you mentioned there is the fact that they have a lot of faces coming back, but they also have a couple new faces entering the mix as well. What do you think about the current composition of this roster right now?
Well, not too many additions were added during the winter transfer window. I think the biggest thing that Wilfried Nancy addressed was depth, because when you're in the midst of a season like this, when you're defending a title, you've got to find a way to make sure to avoid injuries and make sure your roster is at a peak position for if guys get injured, they can come. You've got dudes on the bench that can sub in and play really well. So a guy like Derek Jones was signed from Charlotte. He can play in the midfield and in the defense. You have Marino Hinestroza, comes from the Mexican League, play either side of the wing, likely will fit into that advanced wingback role that Wilfried Nancy likes to play in, and that will be interesting to see how the Columbus Crew can use those two guys in different positions. So, but the rest of the roster is a lot of the same cast of characters. Darlington Nagbe's back as the captain. You got Aiden Morris. You got Cucho Hernandez. You got Diego Rossi. You've got Patrick Schulte in the net. So there's all these fan favorite players that are champions on this roster that are back, but they're going to face some tough challenges because you've got all these competitions you're playing in, and international tournaments this summer could see a lot of these core star players for the Crew leave the team. For example, this summer you've got the Copa America happening, which is the international tournament with North American and South American teams. Cucho Hernandez is Colombian. He's going to be on that roster. Diego Rossi's Uruguayan. He's going to be on that roster. So you might lose your 2 best goal scorers for potentially a month in the summer. And you might have some American internationals going too. Aiden Morris, Sean Zawadzki, Patrick Schulte, all U.S. internationals. Copa America is a possibility for them. Olympics too. Yeah. They could play on the Olympic roster in Paris.
Yeah, a lot of those names you mentioned. I mean, Sean Zawadzki, a homegrown player from Ohio. One thing that stuck out to me about the way that they're approaching this season, you mentioned all these familiar faces, but Wilfried Nancy is really also thinking about just starting kind of fresh, like putting 2023 and leaving it in 2023 and just kind of, resetting the whole situation for the Columbus Crew. You also mentioned a lot of those new tournaments, not new, but like new to the Crew and probably new to a lot of us fans, because I guess when you're an MLS Cup champion, first off, you have a shorter off season, and then also you're in a lot more competitions. Talk to me about how the Crew will be balancing all these competitions besides just competing in MLS.
Well, the main section of the season where that balance is going to come in is going to be at the beginning, because the Crew are in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which this year it's a rebranded name from the Champions League, and it's expanded. So now there's 27 teams in this tournament. Good example, this week ahead of the MLS season openers, FC Cincinnati's playing a match in Jamaica before they come back to Cincinnati to host Toronto for their MLS season opener. So there's a lot of big travel for this tournament. But one thing that's really good for the Crew, they avoid the first round as the MLS Cup champions, so they're already in the round of 16. That first CONCACAF Champions Cup match is going to be on March 6th. So after they play Minnesota for their second game, but very luckily for the Crew, they don't have to travel to Central America or the Caribbean. They get to stay in the United States. They're going to play either St. Louis or Houston in that first round of 16 series. And if they keep advancing, April through June is when that tournament continues on for. Leagues Cup, they're going to play in again, but the MLS season pauses for that. And whether or not the Crew make a deep run in that tournament is to be seen, because, again, you could have some guys off for the Olympics. You could have some guys returning from Copa America. And then still a big question mark is the U.S. Open Cup. It looks unlikely that the Crew will participate in that tournament after MLS decided to pull its senior teams. But Crew 2, their developmental side in their third season, looks likely to compete in the U.S. Open Cup, won MLS Next Pro Cup in 2022, were finalists in 2023. So a nice opportunity for those guys. But the Crew are in contention for 4 trophies this year. In the fall, they're going to play in a one-off final called the Campeones Cup, which they won in 2021. And they're going to hope to win that game at home against the Mexican side. But to me, the biggest thing about this season is, I think back to 2021 when the Crew was defending MLS Cup from 2020. The second game they played that season, it was essentially a friendly in the CONCACAF Champions League at the time against Real Esteli. They were up 4-0 on aggregate. The game was essentially meaningless. And 10 minutes in, Aiden Morris gets injured and misses the entire season, essentially. So making sure that you have good fortune, making sure that guys don't get hurt is essential if the Crew want to not just defend MLS Cup, but have a real opportunity to win 2, maybe 3 trophies this year.
Right. It's a marathon, not a sprint, but it all starts with Saturday's game against Atlanta United FC. Orri, what's your take on the season opener?
A really good one. MLS picked a good team to come to Columbus to open the season. Of course, the season's going to start on a Wednesday night with Inter Miami and Real Salt Lake, but Crew kick things off at 2 p.m. on a Saturday at home, get to hang the banner, get to celebrate MLS Cup again at Lower.com Field. Everyone's going to gather. Every time Atlanta comes here, it seems there's some fantastical weather event. We've had pouring rain. We've had thunderstorms. I don't think Storm Team 4's got anything crazy going on right now for Saturday. So hopefully that stays the case. But Atlanta and Columbus tend to play entertaining, attacking, fun games, because those two were in the first round MLS Cup playoff series together. Those games are all high scoring, all fast attacking brand. Atlanta is definitely one of those teams in contention with Thiago Almada and Georgios Giacomakis leading their attack. But obviously outside of Atlanta, you have Inter Miami with Messi and Suarez. You have FC Cincinnati. You have Philly. You have Seattle. You have St. Louis, Houston. All these teams that are right knocking at the door behind the Columbus Crew. But the Crew only lost 1 game at home last year. They're going to hope to keep that momentum for this year, keeping Lower.com Field as that fortress. And in those new gold kits, they look like they're going to be the favorites and could come away with a win. But I expect a fun, fast-paced match on Saturday.
I was going to ask you real quick about the kits. What are your thoughts? My thought was I saw it and it was like, oh, that looks really cool. Then someone mentioned Charlie Brown, and you can't really unsee it once you hear that.
Yeah, it's a Charlie Brown shirt for sure, and that's sort of the thought process of a lot of people online. But again, kits is very subjective. It's very much your personal opinion. I don't mind the angular designs. I think the yellow is really nice. I think the Crew having a gold kit, because in 2021 they didn't. I just love the fact that they've got a gold and a black kit for this team. So, but it's going to be exciting to see how this season goes. There's a lot of soccer to be played this year. And don't forget, MLS All-Star Game's coming here in July. And
that's right.
We're probably getting close to an opponent being announced. So whether it's a European team, whether it's Liga MX against MLS again, whether it's East versus West coming back, like we saw with the NBA. So that announcement's coming soon, but this is going to be a great year for soccer, not just in Columbus, but across the United States.
We'll keep an eye on it. Orri Benatar, our in-house MLS Columbus Crew expert. Thank you so much. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, David.